Hi, everybody. Today's question is, can a juror live stream your particular trial using their phone? You want to know the answer? Come join me for a moment as I share with you some great information today. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury attorney. And the answer is that in New York, the answer is no, you cannot. So now imagine this scenario. Let's say you bring a lawsuit for, what should it be? An accident matter, or a medical malpractice matter, or even a wrongful death matter here in New York. And now you're trying to obtain money as a form of compensation, right? So you believe that someone was careless and caused you significant harm and injury. And now you are trying to obtain money as compensation for all of the harms and losses and damages that you suffered as a result of somebody else's carelessness. So let me use as an example a medical malpractice case. And now the defense turns around and says, hey, why are you suing me? Don't sue me. I did nothing wrong, the doctor says. And then he turns around and says, you know what? If I did something wrong, then guess what, Mr. Patient? So did you. And then if that's not bad enough, he turns around and says, you know what? I didn't do anything wrong, but if I did something wrong, and you, the patient, also did something wrong, well, guess what? Nothing I did caused or contributed to your injuries. So now, that's only one of the defenses. Then they'll turn around and say, listen, I didn't do anything wrong. But if I did something wrong, and so did you, patient, well, guess what? And if I did cause some type of injury, your injuries really are not as bad as you claim them to be. All right, so those are the defenses that we typically see in medical malpractice cases. So now the defense fights your case tooth and nail. They say they did nothing wrong. They're not going to settle with you. They're not going to offer a dime. So now what do you have to do? You have no choice but to go all the way to trial. That means you can expect your case to last 2 to 3 years. 2 to 3 years that you're going to be in litigation, fighting, pushing your case forward to try and get the defense to recognize that they are wrong and you are right. So now, finally, your case comes up for trial. And now you expect your trial to last 2, maybe 3 weeks. During the middle of the trial, imagine this scenario. You've got 6 people sitting in the jury box, right? They are 6 people, members of the community, who are there to listen to decide whether you are more likely right than wrong, that what you are claiming is true. That's the key here. That's the jury's function. They have to decide what the facts are. They are called fact finders, right? They're the ones to determine who is right and who is not. And if they determine that your set of facts are more likely right than wrong, then now you are entitled to a verdict in your favor. And then they have to decide how much money you are to receive for all the different harms and losses you suffered. So now, here's the scenario I'm creating for you in this video. Imagine during the course of your attorney questioning or cross-examining one of the defense witnesses, all of a sudden you look over and you see a witness going like this. They're going like this. They're trying to get on video or capture something on their camera of the witness. Then they go back to you and they're watching you while you talk. And then they go back to the witness. And now the judge looks over and he sees this juror doing the same thing. And he yells out to the juror, hey, what are you doing? And now he sends the court officer over to the juror. And the juror says, oh, I'm live streaming the proceedings, Judge. Hey, Steve, nice to see you. Thank you for the comment about the family room. Yeah, it's a great family room and we hang out here a lot. This is our den. But today's topic is, hey, can a juror live stream their proceedings, your trial here in New York in a civil lawsuit? And the answer is no, they can't. But how bizarre would it be if a juror actually did that? They held up their phone and now they're going back and forth playing like ping pong from when the attorney asks a question on cross-examination to what the witness says and goes back and then the judge makes a ruling. How bizarre would that be? That would be very interesting. Now, turn it around from the perspective of somebody who's actually watching the live streaming. How fascinating do you think that would be? That would be really cool, wouldn't it? You get to see a live trial in action. You get to see the participants in action. You get to see and hear attorneys make objections. You get to hear and see judges make rulings of law. And now you get to see things in real time. That would be so cool, right? I think it would be amazing. And I think that judges should allow that in the courtrooms here in New York. But the reality is that they don't. So many years ago, the New York court system tried a project to go ahead and put cameras in the courtroom. And they did a whole experiment, and they came to some analysis and some conclusion that ultimately they decided that, hang on one second, that they decided that they were not going to allow cameras in the courtroom. So what does that mean for somebody who whips out their phone in the middle of trial, who now is trying to live stream or record something going on during the course of trial? What it means is that that's not going to happen. The judge is going to yell at the juror. The court officer is going to tell them to stop doing that. And in the extreme instance, they're going to take away that person's phone because that's not permissible here in New York. Now, you might say, what if it's the litigant, the person who's bringing the lawsuit, who's doing that, who's trying to record everything for posterity so that she remembers everything that goes on, or she has that for her future generations to see what actually happened? The reality, again, is the court will not allow that, not in New York. There may be some courts throughout the country who might do that, who might allow a witness or a juror to do that, but the fact is, it's not going to happen. Hang on one second. And you know, it's not such a Steve, how are you? Can the media do that from the gallery? In New York, they cannot. Because there are no phones allowed in New York courts, you can't do that even for the media. So typically what they do, if this is a high-profile case, they will have reporters in the courtroom, and they'll be able to record information on their laptop, on their phones, anything that's silent. But to my knowledge, they will not be allowed to go ahead and take out their phone or a camera and start shooting inside the courtroom. You may ask the question, well, can they record the audio? My understanding is that most judges will not permit them to record audio as well. So instead, if you're walking by a courtroom that has a lot of media attention, you'll notice that when the reporters come outside from the courtroom, they're typically cameras set up in the hallways or some place away from the open door that keeps opening and closing. So now they're not disturbing anybody or any of the other courtrooms. So I hope that answers that question. But now imagine this scenario, right? Imagine a witness gets up on the witness stand, and while she's being questioned by one of the attorneys, she takes out her phone and turns to the judge and says, "Hey, judge, smile, we're taking a selfie together." What do you think would happen then? What do you think the judge would do in that instance where the witness is now taking a selfie with the judge? You think he's going to allow that? The answer is no, he's not going to allow that. And he's going to tell the witness, put the phone away. This is not the place for it. This is not the place to take selfies. Hey, you're here, you've got a serious issue here. The jury has to resolve it. Put the phone away and pay attention. Which is exactly the comment that I make to my kids, you know, and I see other parents doing the same thing when they're at dinner or when they're out with their kids somewhere, and now the kids are busy on texting on the phone, and you want to talk to them. You say, hey, look up. Don't look down. Put your damn phone away. Look up, and let's pay attention. Let's have a real conversation. Okay? So let's go back to the original question I asked in this video. Can a juror go ahead and take video to live stream, whether it's on Facebook or on YouTube or on Google Hangouts or somewhere else, whatever the flavor of the day is? Can they do that? In New York, as of today, March 27, 2017, the answer is no, they can't. You know, I realize you're watching this video likely because it came up on your Facebook feed, and now you got interested in the topic and you started watching it, or you're watching it on replay, and now that's because you're searching for this information, and now you have more questions. Well, here's what I want you to do if you have more questions. What I encourage you to do is pick up the phone and call me. You know I answer questions just like yours every single day, and I'd love to chat with you. In fact, let me put my phone number up here on this screen so you can see it. It's 516-487-8207, and let's get that up there. There we go. So if you have questions, what I encourage you to do is pick up the phone and call me at 516-487-8207, or you can reach me by email at Gerry, Gerry, at Oginski-law.com. That's OGINSKI-law.com. Well, that's it for today's quick video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye, everybody.